Okay, the first thing I'm going to show you on this channel is how to replace a plug. I got an old extension cord here. I'm going to use this for something else, but I'm going to show you for a demonstration. This extension cord, and you would see this quite often in life, it's missing the ground prong, and the end is just all beat up and everything. So I'm going to show you how to replace one of these. You can pick these things up at a hardware store for a few bucks. I think I paid $3 for this, and it's pretty much a standard US 110 receptacle or plug-in. I don't know what they actually call it, but that's what it is. It's standard 110. So what we're going to do is show you how to replace one. So obviously with it unplugged, cut off that old thing, and we don't really need this. Now, if you have a voltmeter or a multimeter, you can figure out which wire is which. Me personally, I always forget which one is black, which one is white. So I always double check myself. So with a voltmeter, you could set it on ohms, or the in the ohms feature you could set it to read when you get a circuit closed. So when you close the circuit, it makes that little beeping noise. So I'm going to just put it on one of these, and I'm going to touch it to one of these wires, which in this case is black. So I know this lead goes to the black wire, which if you match up this, it'll be, if you match up this one, this lead will be my black wire. That means this one's going to be my white, this one's going to be my green. So keep that in mind, and let's strip these wires. On an extension cord like I'm doing, I'm going to do it on my actual one that I need, but the principle is the same. So this is the part that I'm actually building for myself. So about 2.5 inches or so. Just make a light score line right around that insulation. Careful not to nick the wires. And once you get down a little bit, so once you make a light score line, you can bend it back a little bit and start to see the wires that are inside. This helps me because now I kind of get the gauge of how deep I can make that cut. And now I can just make little cuts so I don't nick any of the wires on the inside. You don't want that. So make little cuts, keep bending it back until you get all the way around. And once you get all the way around, it'll come loose, and you can pull that outer shell insulation off. Now you're left with 3 wires. As we found out earlier, this one will be black, this one will be white, and this one will be ground or green. So after you get the insulation off, double check right at the cut line just to make sure you don't have any nicks or anything in the wiring on the inside, which is the 3 wires. And I look pretty good. So what we found out earlier, we know that this one's black, this one's white, and this one's green. So let's open up this and see what we got on the inside. So as you can see, we got 3 terminals. This terminal goes here, this terminal goes down here, this terminal comes down here. And what we found out earlier, we know this terminal is black, so I'm going to be putting the black wire on this one, the white wire on this one, and the green wire on this one. So these are wire strippers. These are a little fancier than you may or may not have. You could certainly use that razor blade if you're careful, but I find these wire strippers are pretty nice. You can just stick it in there. It does have a little stop, so all your wires are the same. I use it sometimes. I use my eye on sometimes. So you just put the wire in there and just pinch. It cuts the wire and strips it all at the same time. So now I got 3 wires. I'm going to twist them together just to make a tighter connection. On this particular one, we might want a little extra wire because we got to wrap around the screw on this one. So we're going to strip that back just a little more on each one. This cord has seen better days, but I think I've been splicing into this cord for 10 years, I think. So don't forget, because I've done this, put your shell on first. Just run your cable right through it and just push that down a little bit out of your way. You'll use that later. So we know this one is green for ground. And this one has a little hook for your wire, and then it goes around the screw. So I'm going to stick it into the screw, kind of hold it there with my fingernail for a second. There we go. Start to wrap that wire right around that screw. Then I'm going to tuck it up underneath that little hook that they provide for you. Now when you're putting the wire in, you want to put it in a certain direction so when you tighten the screw down, that wire continues to wrap around that screw. Then you just tighten the screw down. Give it a quick little tug, make sure it's in there good, and it is. So as we found out earlier, we know this one's going to be black. We can do that one. We'll loosen that wire screw up. I'm going to go ahead and start bending that wire so I can get a little hook for the screw. Start wrapping that around. Take your time with this because you do want a good connection. You don't want anything loose. So there we go. Actually, that wire might be stripped back just a little too long, so let's cut a little bit off. That means this one's going to be a little long too. Tuck it around that hook. It does get a little trickier once you get more than one wire in there. It starts getting a little tighter and tighter. to wiggle the wires in place, but bear with it, it'll get there. And one more, which is the neutral. Okay, so we got all three connections. They look nice and solid to me. We got the black wire, which is the hot, the white wire, which is neutral, and we got the green wire, which is ground. And that connection's all made. It looks nice. Now we can bring our shield up and push this into place. Hides all those wires nice and neat. Push that down nice and solid. And put our screw back. Oh. Easier said than done. Put our screw back. And there you go. You got a nice plug. I cut the wires a little long, so it's sticking out a little bit. Off camera, I'll shorten those and bring that insulation more up in here. Demonstration purposes, this suffices. So this is what I was hooking up, which is a solenoid for a blast gate that I'm building. And let's see if it works. We got a red light in there. We know it works. This principle works on extension cords, lamp post cords, just about anything, but it will come up at one point of time in your life to replace one of these. And that's how you do it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you next time.